Hello, I'm Dr. Bukhari from Pakistan Party, talking to the rest of the world about Syria and what's going on in Ghouta. I think Syria is unfortunately the ultimate failure of the entire mankind. And it is the failure of every peace-loving citizen of the world. It is the failure of every human being who has a conscience, who does not want children to be mutilated and bombed like this in a war of the supranations. The proxy wars going on in Syria right now between US, between Russia, between Saudi Arabia, between Iran, are not killing Iranians, they're not killing Saudi Arabians, they're not killing Americans, they're not killing Russians, they're just killing Syrians. They're not even killing the Syrian soldiers. They're actually killing the Syrian children. So it's technically nothing less and nothing more than an infanticide. This is a genocide. This is when you can't even call it war anymore. Because war is done between forces. War is done between armies. And in war, soldiers die. But in Syria, soldiers are not dying, children are dying. You go to any hospital in Syria, what are you seeing? What are the images coming out of this war, so-called war? Whoever thinks this is a war needs a recheck of his eyesight, because the images we are getting are not of mutilated bodies of soldiers. We are seeing mutilated bodies of children, for God's sake. And who is responsible? Israel is responsible. Israel is 100% responsible for each and every bomb strike that's killing children. Because it was Netanyahu, it was no one else but Netanyahu who challenged Iran because one of its airplanes got taken down by Iran. Netanyahu's ego was so busted that he decided to just do carpet bombing of Syria as a result. And so in retaliation, when Russia responds, what do we have now? We have a graveyard of little infants. So stop calling this war anymore. This is not a war. This is an infanticide, because give me one image coming from Syria that belongs to mutilated bodies of soldiers who perished. Soldiers of Russia, soldiers of US, soldiers of Saudi Arabia, soldiers of Iran. No. Where are the images of the soldiers dying in this so-called war? I don't see any images of any soldiers coming out of this war. So stop calling this war a war anymore. This is not even a proxy war. This is not even a conflict. This is simple, plain infanticide of the Syrian babies, of the Syrian children. This is a madhouse. This is insanity. This is the extreme form of barbarism that can only be expected from the perpetrators of those who have orchestrated the Gaza apartheid for years and years and years. This can only be expected from the war criminals of the World War II. The Rothschilds are behind this. They want to remain in control of the oil fields of Syria that is unfortunately under the control of Israel. And so they would do anything to keep the control of the oil, even if they have to kill millions and millions of children. Stop calling the Syrian war a war. It is not a civil crisis. It is not a war. It is just plain barbarism against the children of Syria. And stop telling me this is a conflict between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Stop telling me this is a conflict or a war between Russia and USA, because when you talk about war, you're expected to see soldiers dying. Where are the soldiers dying in this war? I don't see a single soldier die. All I'm seeing are images of dead babies, mutilated babies, who can hardly make it to the hospitals. Stop fooling yourself. We are not stupid.